Welcome to iPen Podcast, Interviews and Conversations. Here we bring entrepreneurs and their business to their audience and communities as well as ours. We welcome and connect with them to share who they are and what they do. Authors, entrepreneurs, we extend the invitation to promote your business here on our podcast and in iPen Magazine. Your article, your story, your promotions, how you can connect with others, a new audience, a quarterly magazine presented online for all to view and subscribe to. For articles, ads, and subscriptions, please contact ipendesigns@gmail.com. For your viewing, you can see past articles, past interviews on www.nanettembuchanan.com. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I have no idea what is going on with StreamYard tonight, and my partner is behind stage, so she does the cleanup stuff, so I have no idea what's going on. So welcome. We have a great show lined up for you, and as I say all the time, you never know when the glitches are going to come when you're live, so we're just going to flow with it. Don't forget that you too can be a part of this community. We ask you to be a part of our community every time we're on the air. But tonight, a part of our community is one of the best. So sit still, stand still, wait, and let me bring my partner in crime on. Maybe she's in the back trying to fix the stuff that's going on. Hey, Felice.
Hey, Nanette. Good evening, everyone. I'm busy trying to learn how to hold the shovel with just one hand because I'm practicing holding with the other hand.
Yes, we're trying. We're trying. I have no idea. It's like when one thing goes wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're not gonna claim that.
But we're not gonna claim it because you know what? All things are going to go right because we got a great guest.
Yes,
and with a great guest brings great things. So we're not even going to worry about what's going wrong. Ring phone. Go ahead, ring. Go ahead. Throw everything off. Do whatever it is you do. Because we have for you Miss Sylvia Hubbard. We're bringing her to the stage. Good evening. And love your smile, love that smile, and I'm glad because if everything goes wrong, you just gotta keep smiling. Just keep smiling.
Right. That's how I always say that.
We're gonna be all right. We'll be all right. So Miss Sylvia Hubbard is a friend of a friend, and we like those connections. We love to make those kind of connections where each one teach one, each one touch one, each one connect one. And we are now connected to Miss Sylvia Hubbard. And I can't express any further than that I am so glad that you decided to share your presence with us and our community. And we hope that your audience is going to watch as well and share it with other people as well. So without further ado, tell us who you are.
Yay.
That's a big question. So I am Sylvia Hubbard. I'm a Detroit author, born and raised here, and love for the city. I have over 60 novels. 99% of them are set in the city of Detroit. I write romance suspense. I have 3 kids that I know of, and I'm happily married. For the second time, happily married.
Okay.
I don't count the first, so I really want to just say, I'm happily married for the first time.
Yeah. So I want some tea because I was reading this bio and I didn't want to start with this, but your bio starts with this. So describe to me because it says happily divorced.
And here we go, ecstatically.
Well, no, so I wanted to leave that one for a moment, but Please tell me, just in your short words, and not just what describe happily divorce for
Well,
you.
because when I was divorced, I would, people who knew I was married at that time, and then I'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm divorced," and they'd be like, "Oh," but it wasn't something to be sad
Mm-hmm.
about. You should be dancing with me because I was dancing.
Yes,
So
yes.
so I tell people I was happily divorced because I was glad to be out of a verbally abusive, partially physical abusive relationship.
Mhm.
Um, and I say partially physical because he kept calling the police on me.
Oh
Yeah,
my.
the
Oh,
rule was don't start none, won't be none.
Well, well, there you
okay,
go.
okay,
But
okay.
no, not that I love it. I wanted to say I love it.
Right. So
You.
I hate it when people were like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And so I just started just saying I'm happily divorced.
Uh-huh.
So then they stopped being sad for me and start, yeah, I was I mean, how many women couldn't walk away or didn't
Yeah.
walk away or should
Mm-hmm.
have walked away, and I
Mhm.
walked away from that
Yeah.
kind of situation that wasn't bringing me joy.
Mhm.
I Maria Kondoed him and just, took it out,
Yeah.
kept
Mm-hmm.
going.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
congratulations, and I, I then that can tell you I seek positivity in everything, so that's why I hit upon that. Just tell me what that means for you. Now,
Now the
the next
ecstatically
up here,
remarried.
ecstatically, please. And I know you're a woman of words, so I know your words have meaning. So please tell me what ecstatically remarried looks like, feels like, is tastes
Well,
like.
it looked like this.
Oh, okay. Right.
But I usually say ecstatically remarry is because he has given me a love story I could have never imagined.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Oh
nice.
wow.
That's
Yay.
nice. Beautiful, beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
And you
Yay.
know what though? The thing about it, I think, not going way off because as a romance author,
Mhm.
we're really on topic.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
when you can live through it and
Mhm.
understand what it truly is, and
Mhm.
it not be something that's your vision or your dream or the story you're making up,
right.
that you're actually living through it. To be ecstatic about your love is
Mhm.
one thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are so fearful of going into the second marriage.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
They're so fearful about being loved again. They're
Mhm.
so fearful about taking that step to reunite with someone
Mhm.
else.
Mhm.
And then you have the uneven ride for the first couple of years
Yeah.
because you're learning them, they're learning you.
Yeah.
You've lived, they've lived.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
to be ecstatically remarried, I think
Mhm.
that puts so much
Mhm.
emphasis on
It
what
does.
we all need to
Mhm.
seek when we're looking for the second marriage or the third
Mhm.
marriage or whatever it is. When you reconnect to the love,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
should be ecstatic about it.
Mm.
You
Okay.
should
And
be.
yeah, the fact that you can go through that and open your heart back up without the fear or
Mhm.
Mhm.
the repetitive um trauma
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
always goes through your head and the indecisiveness and everything. But I would
Mhm.
I would say that um you know we did make an agreement from our first date is that our lives did not start when we met.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
there are going to be ups and downs,
Mhm.
triggers, things like that.
Mhm.
And we said as long as we communicate and we're able to talk
Mhm.
what's
Mhm.
going on in our head, because I have ESPN, not ESP. So tell me what you are thinking. So it became a very open way for us to
Mhm.
say,
And that's
okay,
so beautiful.
Yeah.
That is
hear
so
It is
me out.
beautiful.
beautiful. Now, I know you're a woman of words. So how did you come to get to this ecstatically remarried? But let me just ask this and preface it a little bit because most of the time when we come out of a bad thing, we're so full of I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, want this. And of course our words have power. So when we focus on the don't want, but did you have a list of what you did want for the next?
I don't think I had a particular list. I just I dated myself. I spent
Mm.
those years just dating myself, going out, doing things that I wanted to do. Um, of course, I was a single mom at the time, so it was hard. And then if I couldn't afford it, I would go on other dates, which I usually call food dates. So I did have a list though. It was a list of restaurants that I could not afford. And I would go and look at like the menu.
Yeah.
I know if exes are listening to this, I'm sorry. But
Sorry,
I
not
would
sorry.
go and I'd have my menu in my little notepad. So we get to the restaurant and I could open up, this restaurant and I want to get this and this. And can you supplement this for the mushrooms and blah, blah, blah. I knew exactly what I wanted when I sat down because I was dreaming of going to this restaurant. I just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
love it. I love it. So I probably
And that's fulfilling. That's
Mhm.
fulfilling
It
because
was fulfilling
the
because
thing about it is do everybody doesn't take the time
Mhm.
to really reunite with themselves.
Mhm.
right.
They
And
look
I
for.
would give them the girlfriend experience. I
Mhm.
understood what, you taking somebody out on a date and, hey, let's just have fun on this date, but you dropping me off at home afterwards because
Right.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Got kids to
mhm.
watch.
Right, right,
Very good. I
right.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. And just so the audience, we've got people that are plugging in, people that are online. Today's guest is author extraordinaire Sylvia Hubbard, who's a suspense romance writer. We're going to talk to her about her books. We're talking to her about her ecstatic new marriage, and we're talking about everything else that goes with it, because of course we want to know as a avid writer, published 60 books, suspense and romance. Are there any other genres that you dig into?
Uh, uh, no, other than like psychological thriller, of course, erotica, I go that far. Along those spectrums, I pretty much stay in there. I tried historical when I was young, but I was like, it take too much work to remember when shoestrings were made.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I got other things to worry
The
about, or when
accuracy.
scissors
Oh.
came into play.
Right, right, right,
So
right, right.
I was like, I'm gonna stay in my lane, and I love romance. I love
Mhm.
suspense. I love the drama, and I
Mhm.
want to bring them
Right,
all
right,
together in one book
right.
at all times. So
And it's funny that you say that, because I know when we do, in high school, you used to have to look up things and get the research and get the information and get all of that.
right,
And you think you're doing this great A paper,
Mhm.
with all the information. And then the teacher asks something that doesn't even make sense. Be
Right.
like, that was the least thing that this person did. So trying to look up the details
Yeah.
right.
for any novel should
Mhm.
at least lead to what you like,
Right.
Yeah.
And I had
yeah.
more fun like researching, because my dad was a chemist and my mom was like a social studies history teacher,
Mhm.
and government. So I
Mhm.
love incorporating science and
Science and everything.
medical and
Mhm.
and history in terms of current history of what's going on like with the city and the state and things like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, trying to research, when soup started, I was like, that's
Yeah.
enough for me.
Mm-mm,
I
mm-mm.
get
Well, I
I,
And
love
then
I
and you got to make it, relatable characters
Mhm.
too. You know,
yeah,
so if the
yeah,
characters are relatable, I mean, if you're in that era or in that period of time,
right,
Mhm.
then you got to make sure that your scenes and everything match
right.
that period of time.
And I
But
did try sci-fi. I tried a short story sci-fi, but I hated it a lot. The kids liked it because I would tell the kids the story and they would love it. But
Mhm.
I was like, it's not real.
Yeah. Well,
Even though I like
science
fiction.
fiction. I mean, come on. Okay, so now, okay, this I'm looking at this, and I know that that's very accurate. But 60 books, 60.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you had to start writing in the womb.
No, unfortunately, I hate to tell people my age, but I am 54 years old.
You're still a baby. Look, that's still more than one book a year.
Right. So it's about
Come on now.
Right?
It was hard yanking that pencil through my mama's.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
in the
She
world,
had
Mm-mm.
some
what got
complaints,
you
but
started, and how do you get to 60 books? And like, again, I'm still kind of like, yeah, right, 54, but okay.
I usually say I say it's either, well, it's grace and mercy, because at the time I started writing in 2000, and then I left my first husband in 2001, 2002 early. So I had come out with just one book then, and I realized, this is what I really wanted to do, how I wanted to make a supplemental income. And from then I was like, I'm bad on paper, so I can be good in life. I just have a lot of bad to put on paper. So I gotta hurp and get it out of my head
I see.
before I do it.
But you know what though? That makes it so unique. Because the thing about it is, if you could feel the suspense yourself, if you could feel the mystery yourself, it makes it more realistic for the reader. Like, like you say, you're bad on paper, so that you don't have to be bad in life. I always say I write reality fiction. If you can't see the reality in it, that's on you. But I just believe that some of these people are living such fictional lives,
Right.
that this can't be your reality. This really can't be. You can't
Right.
really be doing the things you're doing. So when we think
And
about it,
a lot of times when I was creating stories, most of them did come from like what if situations. Like, what if I had got into that car with that guy, or what if I had stayed at the club longer than I was supposed to, or what if my car breaks down and the guy that stopped to help me out, you know I decided to allow him to help me.
Yeah,
So
right,
it was
right,
like,
right.
I'm building all this, stuff in my head, like what if, and then it was so many times that I decided to go on the good road instead of being bad.
But the
You
bad
know,
road sounds so much better. It just sounds so much better. It's
I
it's all
know.
it's almost like I want to be able to eat the chocolate cake every day of the week and not gain
Yeah,
a pound.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? The
yeah.
yeah,
reality is, no, you're going to gain that pound.
You're
You
I
right.
know,
know.
but
I
but
know.
the fantasy in the fact that that cake tastes so
Mhm.
good that
Delicious.
I can just eat
Oh,
it every day whenever I get a taste. Just go ahead
right.
with it. So I enjoy the idea and the ride of a suspenseful
Right.
romance. But
Yeah.
I've got to ask you, when you say romance
Mm-hmm.
suspense and you say, okay, I got a twist of love in it, I got a twist of erotica in it, what holds your audience more? Is it the suspense? Is it the erotica? Or
Well,
is it both?
they dubbed me like the cliffhanger queen. So
Ah.
I don't know if that's it, the suspense, or with the erotica. I will cut it off wherever I feel like it. Like,
Oh,
oh, let's go to the next chapter.
wait, wait.
But I know in my craft that I literally have to weave suspense and romance intertwined. You're not just going to get
Mhm.
one chapter on suspense and one chapter
Right,
on
right.
romance.
Yeah.
We gonna be in
Mhm.
the bedroom still thinking about somebody gonna kill us. Maybe the
Mm.
person who about to, get into bed with us might kill us. So I want
Mhm.
I
That
want
kind of
that whole
suspense.
3D experience at all
Right, right,
times,
Mhm.
right.
because in real life, that's what I mean. Who has
That's what it
time
is.
to, like, somebody chasing you and stopping and, okay, there's a bed, let's use it,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so do you of all those 60, do you have a favorite, or are your characters?
See, that's like asking a mom what's her favorite child. So
Uh-huh.
it's like, it's so hard. I would say my baby. My
Mhm.
baby is Stone's Revenge. And that is because that had been on my heart since I was like 17 years
Mhm.
old.
Mhm.
So that's my baby. I
Mhm.
learned how to write a real romance with suspense, and I didn't realize how dubiously consensual it was.
Ah. Oh, I
I just
like.
came up with a concept, and
Mhm.
that was around the same time of like Jeffrey Dahmer,
Mm.
and they had caught like one of the actually one of the largest serial killers in Russia,
Mhm.
um, who who was even bigger than anyone who could in America. So my dad used to watch these crime shows like all the time. So I just sit up there and watch it with him,
Mhm.
and then I loved romance because oh my god, if you had a Fabio cover, I was reading
Mhm.
that
Yeah, I
book.
remember.
I don't care what they
Yeah.
was doing. I wanted to know what you did with that man
Yeah.
in between them pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was wrapped up in that world. So, I became, romance suspense, my foundation. So, like I said, it can branch off here, it can branch off there, but it always intertwines back again. I'm always 3D, I guess, because I'm from Detroit. Like
Mhm.
we go through crime, drama, romance, and all in like an hour in
Right.
Detroit.
I love it. I
We're a
love it.
lively bunch, as you can see this weekend from our win.
Yes, I see that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Now
So.
let me just ask you about I know that you do the Motown Writers Network.
Mhm.
That network is a conglomerate of other writers and yourself, or is it a
Yes, it's a
private group?
it's a conglomerate of writers, literary services, librarians, all kinds of readers, people who want literary event spaces. It's
Mhm,
a conglomerate of like just the literary world of Michigan. And
Mm.
they all come together and we learn the craft and we go to events together. We
Mhm.
share the events out. We share news, information. So it's a network of
Mhm.
people that come together who want to uplift the literary community in Michigan. So we're trying to help writers get to their
mhm.
literary goals and connect readers to Michigan authors.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I
that's
love it.
nice.
Now,
That's
so
nice.
of course, when I see Milltown, I'm thinking, well, do you have in your conglomerate, songwriters, music, any of that, or I guess.
Well, not particularly. It's more literary than it is music. I
Mm-hmm.
do occasionally get like, a Smokey Robinson page who want to show their, mixtapes. And I have to like say, no.
No, this ain't that. Right?
Right, right,
This
right,
ain't that.
right.
But well, I mean, do you get like written word or anything
Yes,
like
we
that?
get poets
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter what you write as long as you have a love for the word, the
Sure.
written word.
Mhm, mhm.
And we share that message to everybody else. So I think we've reached over 5,000 in our Facebook group.
Oh, very
And
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
and they come in and we have a open live every second Saturday
good.
where you're learning either about writing, publishing, and marketing. And then,
Mhm.
like I said, we share literary events that are offline all the time.
Oh,
Now,
very.
is it closed to just those in Michigan, or is that
No,
something
you
being
can.
that you're on
It
Facebook?
doesn't matter. Everybody can come and join. I mean, we want everybody to come in and share their knowledge. Of course,
Mhm.
if you have an event, you can't
Right,
publicize an event
right,
in
right.
Washington.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right, right, right,
Understood.
right.
Yeah, I love it. I
But
love
other than that, we don't mind you sharing your information, your
it. Mhm.
books, because we just want people to just read
Mhm,
something, read
mhm.
anything. Let's get this
Right,
literacy
right.
level up.
Because it's a fading craft as far
Mhm.
as we know it's there, but it's
Hmm.
almost going into being hidden because so many people are now. I can't tell you, and you probably can tell me as well. You got more books out there than I do. So I know you've probably heard it more than I have, that people walk up to you and go, "Oh, but I don't read,"
Yeah, I
or
get that all the time. And even
Mhm.
because like when I am on offline events and I'll ask people, are you a reader or writer? If they say neither, I say that wasn't the option. You have to be one or the other or both.
Right,
And then,
right,
they'll
right.
go into, well, I don't have time and blah, 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 and blah, blah. And I'm like, do you have an Alexa device? You can just tell her to read it. You can,
Right,
if there's always audiobooks, there's always things, but I was like, you want to keep your brain active, and that is a way to always keep strengthening and making new neural pathways. So we get into that, and I know all the statistics, and I can throw it in. I was like, you know what, just try a small novella, try something that you'll like and enjoy, and then just get into the habit. 10 minutes a day, 10
right,
minutes, that's all you can
right.
do.
Right. And you go the opposite way that I go, because I immediately, being here in North Carolina, part of the Bible Belt, I immediately say, "Do you read your Bible?" And oh yeah, I read the Bible. Well, then you read. Don't tell people you don't read.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
You're a reader. If if you're picking up that good book, you're a reader. So let's not get into that you don't read. They want the quick answer. Everybody wants everything to be quick. And they don't understand that there's just some things that you can really get into and really get something from it, even if it's fictional.
Right.
Even, people may see your fictional story and see themselves.
But even Einstein said imagination is more important than education.
Yeah.
And literacy, as we can tell from these past political events, literacy is so important.
Yeah.
Literacy, political literacy, financial literacy, it's going to be so important as these months come up to pass, because you're going to need to understand what is happening and how it affects you. And if you are not reading correct information and not letting other people tell you what is the correct information, but going out, everybody took a current events class. And you're supposed to get 3 pieces of information
from that class. That's right.
With the fact. So that makes it a fact.
Right.
I'm being teachy like my mother, because that's what everybody is supposed to do.
But not only that, you're right though, because not everyone does that. If everyone did a factual check, they would find out how much of the information we actually get on a daily basis is garbage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. At least 89% of everything we see and hear and engulf is not very factual.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, the thought crossed my mind as you were saying about the literacy, and I, stand 10 toes down with that we do need to be literate. It's almost like, of course, not that it's too late, but it should have been done metaphorically in elementary before these things happen. We should have had the educational literacy of the things that are happening in our society and our government and all that.
I truly believe like we have chances to help everybody else by just pushing more books, more ways to speak. I think authors should just start saying, read. You don't want to get Alzheimer's, read. You don't want to be depressed, read. You don't want to you want to actually help your family, help your community, help the United States. Read.
Yeah.
Because it's just really important, and we all need to just go back and open up a book, because it's a, like you said, it's a lost art. It's becoming a lost art, and that's really scary. I saw that movie Idiosyncrasy. I don't know if you've ever seen that. And that's really scary, because it sometimes feels like it's about to happen.
Yes.
It really, I mean, there's so much of that, because, like, love the idea of Chat GPT, but it really is dumbing down humans, because, and even with the internet now,
it's dumbing us down. Right.
It is dumbing us down. There is the information is given to us. It's fed to us. And that we've had these conversations. We had to go look up in the encyclopedia the generations now was like, what is that?
Yeah, they don't even know what that is to
Now it's to
look up
Google it,
something.
Google that, or just everything is just being, it's
Right.
at your fingertip, read, and you have no context for the information that you're receiving.
And not only that, Sylvia, I'm quite sure you've come across this problem as a writer, where you have a certain tone for each of your characters.
Mm-hmm.
Your characters may speak different, they may act a little different, they don't speak proper English, they don't, they do things a little differently. Well, in the recent months, in trying to edit, to get my book ready to go to the editor, or to edit something that I'm posting, or to edit something, especially in the conversational sections, I get all kind of boom, 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 boom. It's coming into correct. It's coming into, and
Right.
then I get the insultive note that says, your tone is off. Well, excuse me. Who the heck are you to tell me my tone is off? And I'm the one creating what I'm writing. You know,
Right. Yeah.
I don't think your audience would recognize this tone, or
Mm.
your audience would be
Right.
appreciative of your words.
And,
Who
and
is
I had to
this?
and I had to learn how to well, because I am in the computer space and the
Mhm.
development and software writing space. I
Mm.
know that the majority of all spell checkers are in a business tone. So
Mm.
when
Right.
you have a creative document, I think Google is the only one that makes exceptions to the rules when it comes
Mm.
to that.
Mhm.
Their AI can actually detect when it is supposed to be a creative tone. But
Mhm.
I
Right.
haven't come
Right.
across like any
Oh
other.
my gosh, it's
Um,
crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy
and it
now.
is frustrating, and sometimes you have to just turn it off in order to get a
And
document
in order to
done.
get through,
Right. Or I
you got to
I just
cut
don't
it
even
off.
look at my page anymore. I will literally turn my screen off and just type because I'm from the old days. You knew
Yeah,
where that QWERTY
yeah,
keyboard
it's
was.
crazy. And I even said it to someone else. I said, "Well, wow, as a writer, it used to be when your copy would come up, you'd have little blue lines, red lines for misspellings. You knew what your red, your blue, your green, whatever it was, but
Right.
it was in one format. Now I've got like 20 different colors coming up on the screen, and I'm going, who? What
Yeah,
is that?"
you don't even want to edit anymore. You're
I'm
like,
like, wait a
I
minute,
just go
wait a
pay
minute.
somebody. I will
And
pay.
and the thing is, I got Copilot, I got Google, I got my Grammarly program that I
Mhm.
have. I have, and then of course I get the ads that come up in the corner saying you can use, and I'm like,
Mhm.
come on.
Not it. Yeah.
And it just drives you crazy, because
Mhm.
the thing about it is, a lot of times it's not so much after you've written a couple of books, you
Mhm.
kind of know where your commas are supposed to go. You kind
Mhm.
of know where your periods are supposed to go. So most of it is in the conversation of your characters.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that just drives me crazy, because people don't talk right.
Although, you know what? To be a
We don't talk.
confession, I still double space every once in a while after a period.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
in my
Right.
nature.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
and all of those little things, because half the audience, I'm sure, like, what are you talking about? Double space after period. What is that? What does that even mean?
I
Especially
know.
in this age now that you have this talk to text now, right? I mean, we have gone
Right.
so
Right.
far with you know the how you do things, and then it's just lost. It's the you
It's
know
gone. It's gone. You're
it is
absolutely right.
gone. It is
Now,
gone.
do you find that with that technology, it takes you longer to do what you normally would do? Like you said, well, I just cut mine off. I just don't pay attention
Yeah,
to it. I cut
it,
it off.
it actually it doesn't because after when you've raised three children by
Yes.
themselves,
Yes.
uh chaos is
Is what
like a
is your
regular
norm.
day.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
things can be going on, and actually I do need chaos in my life in order for me to write things. And I
Mhm.
like people ask me, well, how do you write these erotic love stories? And oh girl, you have it like sweating the page and stuff. And I'll be
Mhm.
like, I put on a horror movie And when it get to the good part, that's when I can write my love scene because I need screaming in the background because that's what my kids used to do. I could hear them in the other room screaming and crying,
Wow.
and that will make me write faster so I can hurry up and get off because I gotta go
Mhm.
kill
Awesome.
somebody
Yeah,
for
I
killing
love
their
that.
sister.
Yeah, and the thing about it is we try to say, okay, we want to make sure that the audience understands where our characters are coming
Yeah.
from.
And
Yeah.
it you know what, with everything that has gone in technology, and I'm so glad I got into writing my books back in 2000 and then easing on
Yeah.
into as technology was
Mhm,
changing and social media was changing, as we
mhm,
went from paperback to ebooks to audiobooks back to ebooks and then now paperbacks again.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've been a
Mhm.
part of all of that, including all the technology and the changes in technology.
Mhm,
And I'm able to face it. I'm not scared of it because my
mhm.
mama said if you break it, whether you break it or not, you're gonna be famous either way.
Right. There you go. There you go.
So
Which is that
yeah,
one way or another, you're going to be in front of an audience.
right. Well, yeah. So you either finish it with all the and learn it, go on the learning curve, or you break it
Mhm.
and you still end up, TikTok famous for
Right,
breaking.
right, right. Yeah, there's
Mhm.
no
That's
bad
true. That's true.
publicity, as they say. So
N-
Lynette, I know you have the Motown Moms Musings up, but and so we can talk about that. But I do have a question for you. But so tell us about that Motown Moms Musings.
You said Motown what?
Moms
The
Musings.
mom's
Oh, the
music.
Motown Moms Musing.
Uh-huh.
I created that as a way to get first it was like a diary
Mhm,
of like the the frustrations that people didn't talk about, the silent or invisible tasks that moms have to go through that we don't talk about, and people don't know like all the struggles that we have or the thoughts or the worries that
mhm,
we have without, being arrested.
mm. Oh.
So I wanted to kind of put my, this kind of like a blog story time up. And then people were looking for resources, and I would see a whole bunch of mom resources, especially like around Michigan, Detroit area and things. So I started adding resources and discounts and deals and events that were going on. So it just became this kind of, slow pacing blog. Then I got into homesteading. I've always been into homesteading because my dad was like a gardener and he always had, he was always saving up or stocking up and things like that. So I've always done that all my life. And, even with the kids, I've always done it.
Mhm,
So it, given that resource and understanding how to do things and,
mhm,
people are shocked that, I know how to do stuff. And it's because of my dad, I know how to grow food. I know how to
mhm,
fix things. I know how to work things around and everything like that. And it's because of
mhm,
my dad. And he
mhm.
taught us how to do it. So,
Very good.
Well, that's
I share
good.
that information on
Yeah.
there as well.
Mhm,
So
And not
pretty
only
much,
that, you want to be an author that's not just an author selling books. I just
mhm,
believe that as an author, we become almost a source of information.
mhm,
right. And
You
I
know,
want to give that information away because why
mhm,
keep it to myself? And you can either be an asset or a liability to society. And
mhm,
I've just chosen, I want to be an asset. I want people to say that, oh my God, and when I came into the room, I made it better.
yeah,
mhm,
When I
mhm.
came into your life, it
mhm,
brightened your day
yeah,
because
Right,
why ruin something probably already ruined?
yeah,
right, right.
If I
right,
have the salt to make the soup better, then I'm just gonna add it and then
yeah,
keep going
I
because
love that.
And
I
and that's
know.
what we have to have. And that's what
Mhm,
we have to have
mhm,
because when we look at different things, and what people are commenting
mhm,
now on our show now, they're
mhm,
saying that it's fantastic that you have your father,
mhm,
involved, and what we're doing with the writing.
mhm.
We were talking
Well,
about the
he was
AI.
a single dad back in the 90s. So he
Oh,
Really?
took
Wow.
custody of
Mhm,
four girls and
mhm,
one son. So he
mhm,
raised, his daughters up.
mhm,
mhm,
And so yeah, it was fun going bra shopping with your dad when all your other friends got the pretty lacy bras and you just got this regular white cotton itchy one.
I love it. Yeah, that
I
definitely
would
gets
be so jealous. Like they had the underoos and we couldn't. We just got the granny panties. I'd be like, what? But he was very instrumental in making us depend on ourselves, and so dependent. I can tell you a quick thing. I was driving with this guy and it was like our second date, and his car broke down on the side of the road. So he didn't know what to do, and I said, well, start the car again. And he started the car and I was like, oh, that's your alternator, it's just off, do you have a hammer? And he was like, I think I got something. And he produced like this little chisel thing out the trunk. And I went under the car, hit the alternator 3 times to make the cylinders all come aligned. And then he was able to start the car. I was like, well, that's what my dad taught me.
Yeah, right. I love it. I love it.
And
it also helped me write really good male characters in my book. And I have always been kind of like my dad's character. I have always been attracted to guys who really take care of their women once they love them.
Yeah.
And my dad like loved us a lot and showed us how to be independent, and that we were always beautiful, and that sex is good, but it's not always the best thing you should be doing at that time.
Right.
You know, and he would always say, you know, the same man smelling around you at 12 is the same man gonna be smelling around you at 30. So whatever, do you get yourself where you need to be before you start going after them. But I always was able to create these powerful men who loved viciously, like viciously loved you. But like he had to deserve your love, that he wanted to work to deserve the love that you guys should have. So it was great coming up with things of recreating like how our dad, like he broke the mold, you know. And that's why I think I get ecstatic about my husband, because I thought I was ready to buy a cat 2 weeks before I met my husband. I'm gonna tell you that. I already had the Maine Coon. I was asking the humane department, do you have a Maine Coon? Because girl, I told him he was 2 weeks away of never meeting me, because once I got my cat, that was it.
Right. Okay, so I think, you know, inadvertently or through your stories, you did write the perfect person.
Right.
Yeah, I think you did. So and that's fantastic. And I love all that you're talking about. And I love to know how these characters are, you know, it's the story behind the story, right? And you don't always get that. And so I love being able to know that about you, and to then now read these stories and just, you know, just have a
be able to sit into them. Sit into them.
Right.
The more you meet the authors, that's one thing that I love about the live events. When a person gets to meet and talk to you as an author or whatever, and they get to understand your reason for writing the book, the way that you develop your characters, or even the little questions that they ask you and say, well, why didn't you write a second book to this, you know, or a second book to that? You know, they ask these questions, and when you're able to answer it, it makes a connection. And now when they sit down and read it, it's not just that they're reading Ernest Hemingway and you're wondering, well, where did he live? You know, you don't have to do that when you can connect with the authors. So that's another reason why we like to bring in authors and have authors as guests and other people from the community, because if you can actually hear them and hear them talk from the heart, hear them say that their dad did not buy them, you know, the underoos, and you know, when you know,
girl, that triggers me. I think they should make adult underoos.
And you're right,
they would. I would wear the Wonder Woman all day, every day, till it fell off my body. I swear.
That's right. But the thing about
your characters get that experience.
It's that experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it was a lot of things. Like I knew my dad couldn't have done, or because he was a single dad. And but it was a lot of things I saw as a woman that my dad went through, you know, pain, heartache, childhood stuff that, you know, would come up in
That they
other
don't put back.
relationships.
Right. That's right.
And I wanted to bring a lot of things that men go through on the surface, because usually romance novels, you see just the woman struggling. You see they're going through this mental thing, and they have this thing. Guys have a lot of problems. I'm gonna tell you that because of being raised by my dad, I've always had a lot of guy friends, platonic guy friends that have always they've always like been, you know, coming to me. They have always been attracted to me because I know what you're going through. I can see the struggle. And so as I was like going through life after, you know, I left my dad's house, and I would meet all these other guys and be like, oh my God, no woman is ever gonna love you. And I would see like they were going through some mental thing, or they had been cheated on so much, or they had like kinks, and I'd be like, oh, I don't think no woman is gonna like you for that. But I wanted to give them stories.
Right. Give them a chance. Give them a chance.
I felt bad. I was like, crazy need love too.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I identify with that because I grew up with only brothers. I don't have any sisters.
Right. And you see, like, because men do not express their weaknesses. And it is so hard for them to actually say they have, you know, things they're struggling through. They just want you to know that, oh, I'm gonna be there for you, I'm gonna take care of you. And you're like, boy, what do you fear at night? I don't want to know all what you got in your wallet, because I can pay my bills. I can
right. Not only that, they're telling you that they can take care of you. You know, they're talking to you and they smooth talking and doing everything else. And you get up from the table at the restaurant and they looking in their wallet going, now, how much is this bill going to be? You know, and then when you say to them, well, I got to go home because the kids are there. Well, oh, how many kids again? You know, they're trying to add up all the particulars. And they never have thought about the fact that these particulars.
On these dates that I went on, the fun dates, some of them didn't even know how many kids. I would just say kids. You don't even know all that. Just feed me. Whatever.
but in the guise of being able to take care of you, you having the vast knowledge of, you know, like, again, even the car. It's like, and it's not so much, you know, that they can't know, they can't know about that. But, you know, again, when your mark of them being able to take care of you is way different from, you know, their thought of being able to take care of you, because they're never going to suspect, oh, she knows how to fix an alternator on the side of the road. That will never be a conscious thought, right?
And a lot of times, because even my husband would sometimes ask me, he'd be like, why aren't men just lining up for you? He's like, you're smart, you're this, you're that. And I'd be like, because I don't show everybody me.
No.
Because my dad always taught me, everybody don't need to know you. You can live in the world, but you don't have to have the world live in you. So if I am out on a date with somebody, 99% of the time, he don't know Sylvia. He don't know what I like to do in the middle of the night, or what me and my kids have fun doing, or sometimes, like I said, how many kids I do have. You know, some of them, I used to meet exes after I got married, and they'd be like, oh my God, you have 3? And that wasn't for you to know. Because if you really wanted to know, you would have asked. I only gave you that girlfriend experience that you wanted. And while I got my food, I just want my food.
Exactly.
I am not a salad eating chick.
I love it.
Now, tell us how you balance the mompreneur. Because a lot of people want to separate I'm a worker, and I'm not even going to talk about the entrepreneur, because the entrepreneur is a 24-hour job.
Yes.
But I'm going to talk about the 9-to-5 worker. She's a 9-to-5 worker. You know her as a whatever. Then she comes home and she's a mom, whatever, whatever, whatever. Kids go to bed. She may be a wife. She may be a girlfriend. She may be whatever, whatever, whatever. And she separates each of those categories deliberately. It does not overflow. She's when she gets off at 5, she ain't picking up that phone after 5 for her job. You know, if she's dealing with
and
kids
for that guy either.
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah.
She separates each of
So
those
I
things.
would,
But as
I
a
would,
mompreneur,
yeah,
a
I would
mompreneur,
equate it
you
being one. How did I do it? It was a lot of grace and mercy.
Mm.
mm-hmm.
And then it was a philosophy of plan, pray, and parent. So I plan for the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I pray in advance.
Amen. Yeah.
And then I parent not only my kids, but my life and my household.
Mm.
So I take that philosophy. And number 3, it would be having the mindset to compartmentalize, almost like a serial killer. Everything goes in a place. Everything goes
right.
in different boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep those boxes in order at all times. So it's almost like a crazy person. But I'm not crazy, I swear. Last time I checked.
I believe you.
Right.
But it was those 3 kind of concepts that I always kept. Even when, like, because a lot of people know, like, I had a fire in 2013 and we lost everything in 8 minutes. We were homeless in the middle of winter, and the kids were tweens and teens, and we had I had 68 cents to my name. Literally. That was when the government was shutting down. I could barely get aid. We had nothing to depend on. The city was going bankrupt. And it was like the worst time of the worst time. And people often told me, they were like, I would have just went into a corner and just died. And I did, because I did want to.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have gone into that corner. And I was almost there. When we got up the next morning after the fire, I was at my dad's house. We all smelled like barbecue because we were still wearing literally the same clothes we were in the fire. And I was just, you know how you get up and you're a woman and you like got things to do. You got 50 things, item lists. I gotta go find Red Cross. I gotta get to social service. I gotta find food. I gotta find somewhere we're gonna stay. I gotta get clothes. I hadn't changed my underwear since, yesterday at 8 a.m. I was just
right.
okay, I got things to do. And we were getting ready to walk out the door. My son was like, Ma. And I was like, Zach, just put on your shoes, put on the coat, because we had got some stuff. People had gave us some stuff. And I was like, just put on whatever you can and just get in the car. And he just kept saying, Ma. And I was like, Zach, please just get in the car with your sisters so we can go. And then I'm picking up stuff, throwing it in the bag, like, okay, I need their birth certificate. I need this. I need their social security. I need everything. So I'm trying to gather all this. So I'm walking out the door and he's like, Sylvia. And you not today, boy. And I turned and looked at him and he said, I don't have any shoes. If you a mom, you understand immediately.
Yeah.
With 68 cents in my bank account, I had one job, and that was to protect him.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he was a Black boy living in Detroit. And everybody from the time he was born was telling me this boy was going to die.
Yeah.
And now he is looking at me as I am supposed to be able to provide for him. And I'm gonna tell you, and that 30 seconds of staring at him felt like 100 years. And my soul fell on the floor. I was standing, but I was on the ground.
Yeah.
Because when you put all these things in boxes and you have these you have concepts and you have
Mhm.
plans and
Yeah.
everything is just supposed to, you're a good person
Yeah.
and you're
Mhm.
praying and you're doing what you're supposed to do in the
Right.
world. You're not cheating the system. You're trying to do the best you can. And
Right.
this happens,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I can
Mhm.
handle this situation, but I
Yeah.
cannot handle my son
Yeah.
being without
Being
something that
without.
I can't provide. There's nobody
Mhm.
I could call.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I was like, I didn't know what to do. So in
Mhm.
that 30 seconds, I did, what anybody else would do. I looked at my cell phone
Mhm.
and I went to the last screen that I had been looking at the night prior to the fire, which was my PayPal account. And
Mhm.
somebody had sent out a message and they said, if Sylvia has done anything good for you, could you
Wow.
just give her $1?
Oh, wow.
And they gave
Wow.
my PayPal email,
Mhm.
and overnight, people had donated over $5,000.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
look at God. Look at
Look
God.
at God.
So I
Mhm.
turned to my son and I said, if you could just walk out in the snow and get in the car,
We can get you shoes.
I get you anything you want.
Oh.
Mhm.
And I will never fail you again.
Mhm.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
I made that promise to him. I made that promise to God
Mm.
because he has always been my seraphim. And if
Yeah.
you know what that
Mhm.
is, you
Yeah.
understand.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
I, for the first time, needed to protect him.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
was going to make sure that happened. So, yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
No.
please, no. You
No.
gotta take that apology back.
Listen,
Nope.
listen.
Take
We
it
are
back.
mothers. We
Take
are
it
mothers.
back.
Yeah,
No.
you
But
have no need to apologize. You
Take
did what
it.
I,
any
I
mother
know.
would do. You feel how any mother would feel.
right.
Mhm.
That's just who we are.
And
Yeah.
That's
it's
our
so weird
nature.
because
That's our
over the
nature.
years, all my female characters have taken a piece of me.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
in terms of a situation that I've been
Uh-huh.
in. And
Mhm.
I do have a lot of stories where they are moms and they
Mhm.
are in the middle of a struggle.
Mhm.
And they don't want a hand out. They just need a hand up.
Mhm.
And some people just don't understand it. If you have the faith of just a mustard seed,
Yeah.
you could
Exactly.
bench press the universe.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
that's what I
Yeah.
want to I do want to bring to light in a lot of my stories where I put them in situations when all hope is gone and you're not even at the bottom of the bucket, you're
No.
under the bucket, you
Right.
can't
Mhm.
even get in there with the crabs and try to
Yeah.
get up.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
And but where does that put you?
Mhm.
How do you get out of it? And that's what I challenge myself as a writer and my characters is that I want to tell women you have more power than you possibly know. You
Mhm.
are stronger than you can possibly imagine.
Mhm.
And I think that the Lord saved the best for last when he
Mhm.
created woman.
Mhm.
Amen.
and
Mhm.
and I think
Mhm.
that we hide our power, we hide
Mhm.
our intelligence, we hide the beautifulness and etherealness of us so much
Mhm.
that we forget who we are.
Yeah.
Right.
and
Right.
and I, and that's in the stories people tell me, like some people say, oh well, she's so easygoing, she lets everybody run over her, and a lot of times we do because I want to shine a light on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or she just caves into things, or she doesn't show really how smart she is, and blah
Mhm.
blah. But we do that. I want to
Right.
make
Mhm.
believable characters because you do that. We
Yeah.
do it sometimes on a daily basis, especially in our workplace,
Mhm.
in our church life, in our family life. We
Yeah.
hide who we really are.
Mhm.
We're like superheroes, but we would rather be a Clark than Superman,
Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
or
Mhm.
Yeah.
the other, or any other. We would rather don on the glasses. We would rather take off the cape rather than
Right.
show, you
Right.
Yeah.
know, where we are and who
Yeah.
we are.
And the
Right.
thing about it is we forget that oftentimes our cape is torn and tattered too.
Mm.
You know,
But we still
our
can fly.
you
Yeah.
know, and that's what we need to understand, that
Mhm.
we can take off the cape and still be super.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
we could take off the cape and still be the success that we need to be.
Right.
And I think that a lot of times, especially as mothers, we don't realize that not only are we seen in a whole different light
Hmm.
because of the title, we
Mhm.
try to uphold that title instead of upholding ourselves.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of times we have to uphold ourselves and fit into that, because you're going to be a mother no matter what,
Mhm.
Right.
no
And
matter what.
I would even say, because even as single moms, I learned that they don't even give you that title of family. They just say you
Mm-mm.
are a single parent
Mhm.
household.
Single
And
parent
you got to
household.
realize how powerful the word family is.
Mhm.
Yes.
People don't
Yes.
sit back and see. If they give the mob the word family, where
Yeah.
you have
Wow.
to respect the head of the household, you will do
Exactly.
anything and everything to protect that head of the household and family.
Mhm.
You go out, and even if the head of the household is not around, you
Mhm.
always
Respect
do
at
what is
home.
best for that household. You
Mhm.
never do anything, but they take the word family away from a single parent.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
we are not given that
Mhm.
honor. We are not given
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
respect. We are not given that title.
Mhm.
So
You're
our
frowned upon.
children don't
And a lot of
know
times you're frowned
what that
upon.
word is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're frowned
Yeah.
upon. A lot of
Don't
times
know.
you're looked at differently. You're looked at as less than,
Right.
Right.
and you have and sometimes you have the same struggles
Mhm.
within
You have
your
double the
unit.
struggle
You do. I
Right.
because
agree.
you are the mother and the father.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the thing about it is, what I'm trying to express is that you have the same struggle that a two-parent household can
Right.
have the same problem that the single parent household has.
Mm.
So even if you're giving help to the two-parent household, you should be willing to give double the help
Mhm.
to the
Yeah.
single parent household,
And
because they're trying to figure it out.
yeah.
They're trying
Right.
to figure it out.
Trying
Yeah.
to figure it out. And I like a lot of my male friends, I always like tell them, I was like, if you ever see a single mom struggling, always help out.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
she wasn't honestly, she wasn't a bitch till you left her like a dog.
Well,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
part right there. And
So
and I submit that, we don't show our struggle unless it's just so bad that we do. So we try to hide our struggle. So even in that, not assume that they're struggling, just help out anyways, because you
You never
don't
know.
realize,
You never know.
where it is.
right.
So I need to
Now,
ask you an important question. So, how do you take care of Sylvia? Because of all of the fabulous things that you do and the ecstatically remarried, beautiful husband that you have, again, you are still you and you have a plethora of things that you do. But just
I do.
how do you
Um
do?
I like to watch movies. And then people always say, I'm a introvert as a
Mhm.
writer, but I'm also an author who is an introvert pretending to be an extrovert. So
I love
I
that.
love just sitting at home,
Mhm.
in my jammies
Mhm.
and just, enjoying a good movie.
Mhm.
Um I do love going out to the movies. I just, it's something about movies I've always loved, and along with reading and writing. So now that like we have acquired like 10 acres of land, so we
Mhm.
literally go up there every other
Mhm.
weekend and just
Mhm.
enjoy nature, and
Mhm.
we're off grid and everything. So it's kind of like, that's what I do to enjoy
Yeah.
myself because
I
it's so
love it.
much fun.
Mhm.
um I kind of like my husband says, he likes to be alone, but he likes to be alone with me.
Yeah, I love it.
We ain't got
right,
to talk to
right.
each other. We just got to know, hey, you
No, you're
somewhere
there.
within,
Yeah, you're there.
vocal
You're
distance.
there.
Right. And now, okay, just one more quick question for me.
Uh-huh.
Have you been to every restaurant that you want to go to?
I actually have. I actually, I mean, there's some out of the state, of course. You know, I'll see it online and I'll be like, ooh, if I go there, I want to go there. And I usually tell my husband, you know, hey, this would be a great date night if we ever go to here.
Right, right.
But
Well,
I actually have been to like every restaurant I really wanted to go to. And that was kind of like, that was my goal before I settled down.
a
And
restaurant bucket list.
yeah,
I love it.
I'm gonna tell y'all, it's so much fun.
A
It's,
restaurant bucket
you
list.
don't, if you're not paying, girl.
Baby, yes.
Well, not only that, as an author, that also gives you the idea that you can add those places in, or places like that for your characters to go or to dream about or have visions about.
Right. They're not
I
just
always
having
say
chicken fettuccine and broccoli all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. Your life experiences can be entwined in some way in the characters we create. Now, you have the latest book out, Wicked Chances.
Yes.
And Wicked Chances is another suspenseful romance.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where when you look at the cover, you say to yourself, "Ooh, I'm understanding what's going on here." You almost your books, and I encourage everybody that's listening or those that will hear the replay, just go to her website. We're getting ready to put that up anyway, but go to her website. That's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to just go to her website. And when you look at the titles and the covers, I dare you to tell me one that you don't want to read. I dare you to, because of the simple fact that the covers are enough to pull you in. I design my covers, and I love the idea that you pick up the cover and you hear your readers go, "Ooh," before they even open the book. The cover has already captured them. So I thank you for that. I thank you for that, because that to me is a signature right there, that the covers pull you in. I encourage everybody, please go to her website. Go to her website and look at those beautiful covers. And if you're into suspense and romance, I don't know that any romance wouldn't be suspense. I mean, even in real life, I just don't see.
It has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be. I mean,
even if you think that he's fine, he got money, he got
something wrong with him. Something's wrong.
Something is wrong. So there's suspense.
I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop, because
something is just not right with this guy. And then on the reverse, if he doesn't have a job, but he's got all of the looks of somebody that's supposed to have a job.
My daddy said all men lie, and if my daddy said it,
it's true.
But you look,
no lies in that statement.
But not only that, as women, we kind of nosy. We want to know how come you only be here on Thursdays.
What's a curse? It's a curse and a blessing for me. Is that, yes, I was raised by my dad, but then being a woman and going out in the world, and then men coming up to me, it's like I already know what you're gonna say in order to try to get into my panties, because that's your ultimate goal as a guy.
Exactly.
I know that is.
Exactly.
You ain't come to say I'm just beautiful just because. You came all the way across the room to try to get in my panties. So I know you are going to say whatever you have to say in order to get to that goal.
Something. And don't you hate the guy that sends you the $2 drink all night long and then expects you to speak to him? I hated that. I
don't drink alcohol, so it's hard.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm not a drinker. So you see me drinking one glass of wine with my girls all night long because I'm not a drinker. And you keep sending all of this stuff down.
Well, what would be hard, because I know what guys would try to, they would try to do that, see what you drinking.
Right.
But see, I would never have a drink in front of me because I knew, my daddy told me, you're hard to get and you're harder to keep.
Yes.
So if you gonna buy me a drink, you gotta buy the whole table a drink.
Exactly. And then
I
of
wouldn't
course,
even drink my drink because I didn't
because I'm
drink
giving it to
alcohol.
my
So my
friend.
friends would drink it, and I already had my pouch in my bag.
Exactly. And
I am
just
not paying
like you said,
$8 for an
you
iced tea.
already
I
know the game.
refuse.
You already know the game. You already know the game. So we go through those things. And you've got two things that you said. Well, one you already told us about. You're bad on paper, so you could be good in life. But I also noticed this one. The success is your mountain to climb. So stop waiting for others to catch up to join you.
Wow.
That's very important because
I
you were
think,
given this journey, not everybody else.
Yeah.
and
So
not only that,
if you're on a journey and they can't keep up with you, that's not your problem.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if you were given a journey, especially by the higher ups, whatever spirituality, if you were given that journey, it is for you to finish it so you can get the blessings that you deserve.
Yeah.
And if you stop and help other people on the road, it's okay, but don't stop completely.
Yeah.
You must finish that journey because I would like to be prosperous.
Yes.
Right.
I would like to get the blessings that my Heavenly Father would love to give to me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to complete my journey. Whether you catch up with me or you want to walk with me.
That's right.
That's up to you.
Well, in getting ready to wrap things up, I just want to check with some of the people that have been tagging in and talking and everything. Margaret has been here with you. Deborah is here with you. Tanya is here with you. Or I think it's Tanya is here with you. And then we have King Tracy, who's been on the comment line. I haven't been able to comment back to him. However, he is one of the few that is a male guest, and he's been with us the whole time, sending in comments, saying different things.
I gotta go back and see it. I want to see it.
So I wanna thank all of you for joining us. It's been such a pleasure. As I said, interviews and conversations is just a little different, people. We do it just a little different way. We talk, we have fun, we have a good time, but we get to know our guests, and we want our guests to get to know you. So with that being said, I want to make sure that you guys go, as I said, please, you got to go. You got to go to her website. You got to check out what she does. You got to check out how she does it. Now you know a little bit about her. You know what to expect when you get that book. It's what her daddy said.
I don't know. I'm scared myself, girl.
It's what her daddy said. And not only that, she spoke about the Motown writers, and she invited us to join. If you are in a literary, I don't know, I'm trying and I'm struggling or whatever, there's a lot of scam sites out there. There's a lot of people that will take your money
out there,
and a lot of people that know that you want it just as bad as you will spend for it. So please go and get the information first from somewhere. If you don't contact her, you can always contact me. I'm at ipindesigns@gmail.com. You can always come to me. I have her number and her connection. So we all are connected now. That's what we're saying about community. You have a way to keep up. If not, you can always go to my website, www.ninetteMbuchanan.com. And if you'd like to be a guest, hey, we bring the inspiration. We bring all of our guests, our happy guests. We don't bring crazy guests. We all a little bit, off, but we'll take that off, but we ain't crazy, so come on in and join. Come on in and join our community. Come on in and join our people. And Felicia, you want to talk to Miss Hubbard one more time?
I do. I didn't say this at the beginning, but my title should say did say this. I'm a celebrator for entrepreneurs. And what that means is I love to uplift and to be inspired. And I am so inspired by you. And I'm thanking you so much for allowing your gift to be, shine in this world. And just keep it up. I wanted to ask you, are there 60 more books in you? But I really believe I already know the answer to that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
Mhm.
girl, I
Mhm.
got a lot of bad. I got a lot of bad. I got to get out. 'Cause, I either gonna catch a case if I don't. So
I love it so much.
That's right. That's right. Let those juices flow.
Yeah.
Let them flow. So we're gonna wrap it up tonight and say goodbye to our guests. We appreciate that you came in and joined, and make sure you share it with someone. Let them come on. The replay is on YouTube. The replay is on my website. And Miss Hubbard will have a link for the replay, so I'm sure she'll post that for everybody to see. We had a great time tonight,
Yes,
and I
we
want to
did.
thank you. I want to thank you for being the closure to our circle for tonight. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. Miss Hubbard, please stand by.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had this much fun as I did.
Good night.